Week 12 is here. We'll talk through some previews. He said, she said, fan said, but more importantly, we'll get you ready for what scenarios could come out to be given these Week 12 results between Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, and Louisville.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Everybody, welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Huber, joined by Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. Each and every day, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you download, subscribe to the pod so you can talk to us on our community page on YouTube. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege. Terms and conditions do apply. Kenton, we're rocking and rolling through week 12. We got a lot of exciting games. You felt a little nervous in the pre-conversations, right? The dress rehearsal about how your picks were going to go this week. So how are we feeling right now?
Honestly, I'm not feeling that confident. I'm not feeling – the fans feel like they're gaining on me. It feels like you're breathing down my neck too. It's just, my lead ain't feeling as leady as it normally feels. I'm worried about this week. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a great slate of games. This is a great slate of ball games. I'll tell you what, if you got some free time Thursday night and all Saturday, you better be locked in because these are all games. I mean, when I look around the conference, I only see one that I'm like, yeah, that one's probably going to be ugly. And that one doesn't include two ACC teams. All the rest, or the two that are going to be ugly, don't include ACC teams. All the rest, I could see all of them going either way. I could see all of them being close. Yes, including Louisville, Miami, but we'll get into it.
1,000%. All right, let's kick things off with our Thursday night matchup. Pitt and Boston College, which we talked about yesterday, will be at 7 p.m. on ESPN. We both feel confident in Boston College, if I'm still correct. So you're still cool with that pick.
Yeah, Castellanos, the team that has Thomas Castellanos will win this ballgame. I feel comfortable with that. Quarterback play is important, and Pitt's quarterback play has been atrocious, filthy, downright putrid at this point. So I believe that, Boston College gets this one done.
Why is Pitt -3, though?
So Pitt
what
is
Vegas know?
Here's the thing. Vegas does know some things sometimes. We're not going to discount that. And Pitt is at home, right? So that you can't necessarily count that one out either. My only problem with that is this. Boston College has been really good on the road this year. Like really, really good on the road this year. The only road game that they've lost all season long was to Louisville. And so I don't think that the road will be that much of a problem, especially a Pitt team where, let's just be honest, I'm fairly certain the fans are kind of checked out at this point and just like, hey, give us next season, man. Give us next season. And mind you, this is a Pitt team that's on their third straight home game where the first two came as losses, one of which, they fought against Florida State. They did their best against a banged-up Florida State to keep it close. The next one, you let Syracuse come back on you by punching you in the face time and time again, and this is the final home game of the season for them. I think Boston College has this one. I feel good about that.
But Boston College is not healthy. They're limping into Pittsburgh. That's my biggest, I don't know.
Was Syracuse healthy going up against Pitt?
They never are.
With all due respect, I think Pitt has punted this season away. I think that their players aren't very interested at this point. I think that they're like, let's just go home, man.
What did the fans say?
The fans agree with both of us. Everybody has picked BC, and they've picked them by 70%.
We might circle back on that one.
Now, that is our lowest voted on game of the week as well. So
we might have to circle back on that one. I might change my mind. I reserve the right to change my mind.
You do.
At the end of the show.
You surely do.
Okay.
You do reserve the right to change your mind.
At noon on Saturday, we'll kick off with Louisville and Miami. Louisville must win this game if they want to go directly to the ACC championship. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. That's just the name of that game. Okay, so they can beat Miami, or UNC lost to either Clemson or NC State. That's how Louisville gets to the ACC championship. I'll talk about the others, here in just a bit. Miami, they're playing at home. Miami's doesn't necessarily have that, home field advantage per se, but it's a pissed off Miami team that's better than their record shows. Not that they don't have a great record, they're bowl eligible, all that good stuff. Why is Louisville going to come into their trap and take over their trap?
That was a lie, and the lie don't care who tell it. This is not a better Miami team than their record indicates. With all due respect, this team is exactly where they need to be. The quarterback play in conference play has been shoddy at best. If anything, the question should be, how can Miami possibly pull this one off? And the only way that they get that done is if they come downhill, no frills, power running all night long, and they are finding some pliability in that Louisville defense. And of course, Jack Plummer has one of those Jack Plummer disaster class games. That is their path to winning this game. And the reason I said this could be close or could go either way is not so much that I believe in Miami's running game to dominate, but more so it's very possible that Jack Plummer's it up. It's very possible. It's not, and this feels like a game where you're asking a team to be mature. You're asking a team, and don't get me wrong.
Miami?
You're asking Louisville to be mature because Louisville is the one with everything on the ground. You don't have to be mature to be the spoiler. You don't have to be mature to do that. You can go out there and do whatever to be that. You have to be mature enough to prepare the right way, show up, and win this game, right? Is Louisville mature enough to do that? Not from a standpoint of they have a young team, because their team is experienced. They have a lot of very, very veteran players on that team. But the question is, have they been in this position to be ready for this moment? I don't think they have, which could make it close, but I think they ultimately win.
Technically, you're right. Not under this coach. And of course, this coach who also knows that they've struggled sometimes to play complete games. Sure. But they're feeling the top 10 energy. We've also seen, top 10 teams here before in our trap who don't know how to handle it well. So this is a huge game for Louisville. And who do you ultimately say wins?
Yeah, I've got Louisville in this one. I think it'll be closer than it should be, but I think that Louisville comes away with a win here.
Ooh, I think Miami's going to make it interesting.
Yeah.
I think Miami's going to win this game.
Okay.
I think Miami is going to defend home. I think Miami is going to play pissed off. And I just have a good feeling about that defense. Something about that defense of Jack Plummer is going to get a nice little synergy going. Crazy things have happened.
I'm gonna tell you this much.
Mm.
Jack Plummer sure does like throwing to his receivers and all that, but when he puts on those disaster classes, he does need, get him some bifocals because he struggles to see which color is which. But
Jacoby George goes off this game. He goes off this game. He's gone off all season, but this is his game.
Here's the only thing that I would say would prevent that. Louisville uses Ashton Gillotte, the ACC sack leader, in so many creative ways. Like
true.
Miami's tackles, I think they're good enough to contain him. I don't think they're good enough to stop him. I think they're good enough to contain him. But they move him all up and down that line. Wherever they see your weakness is, hey, friend, how you doing? You got number 9 with the pretty long hair over you, buddy. It's going to be a long day.
Fair. I'm going to stick with this one.
Okay.
What do the fans say?
The fans agree with me. They got Louisville taking it 62% to 38%.
Okay. Canes fans, where you're at? I'm on your side today. So let's try this one out.
The Canes fans must have shown up because that was our most voted for game of the week.
There we go. Duke and Virginia. Let's talk about the fact that Duke definitely needs a bounce back game. Confidence is there, but so is that for Virginia. They're coming off a bye week and hopefully healthy and trying to figure out how to be better than their record shows. Let's talk about them here in just a second. I want to remind you that LinkedIn is the place to be if you want to get a great job and get best candidates and all of that goodness. That's why you have to go to linkedin.com to post your job to find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. LinkedIn.com/LockedOnCollege allows you to post your job for free, and it helps you find the right people for your team. All you have to do is go to linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege, add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you like to interview. Go to LinkedIn.com/LockedOnCollege. Terms and conditions do apply. We're rocking and rolling with Kenton Gibbs here. Week 12 preview, Duke and Virginia. I feel like Virginia is a team that, always is on the cusp of winning close games, but whether it be a range from 1 to 7 points. Duke playing a little hurt, but they are playing with some pride, and Mr. Loftus got a lot of confidence after that North Carolina game. Will Duke pull it off?
5 of UVA's 8 losses have come by 1 possession or less. Mm-hmm. Duke has a defense that, when it comes to stopping the run, they're lights out. They have an offense that is physical. They can run the ball well. I think this game will be closer than most people think. I think Duke wins a very, very close one here. But I would be surprised if Duke rolls in this one. I would be more surprised to see Duke roll than I would be to see Virginia win.
Okay. So you're giving it to Duke.
Yes, I've got Duke winning this game. Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that I can't reach my 10 wins, I too am going with the Blue Devils. I think that they want to punch somebody in the mouth after that loss last week. Virginia just happened to be next. They're not going to lose to a 2-8 Virginia team. They got some pride about them. I feel like that defense has some pride about them, and they're going to take it out on Tony Muskett and company.
Now, question. If Duke loses this game, does Texas A&M rip up Elko's contract? Never mind. Go ahead. Go to the next match.
I would hope you still have interest. I hope you still,
No. I mean,
he says, you know what, this is maybe who we are here. Let me go take my talents to the SEC. I don't know.
No, I think that, we've already talked about this. He'd be smart to stay at Duke, but I'll tell you what, if he bought that bag, Aggie Land is going to be where we find.
Oil money is great. What did the fans say with this matchup?
The fans agree with both of us that Duke is going to take this game and take this game in a not so close fashion here. We have a whopping 85% of fans going with Duke.
Wonderful. So they'll be at 3 p.m. on our favorite network, the CW.
The CW. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Wake Forest and Notre Dame. Don't have to stay here long. Don't have to stay here long at all. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, Wake Forest, I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you when you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you when you're strong, right?
Yeah.
Confident.
Yeah.
The fact that your coach has had to this week tell us over and over again that, what he saw in spring is not what he's seeing right here on the field. It's concerning a little bit. I don't think he said that out loud, but it's concerning a little bit. He had a little manifesto going on about his frustrations. Cool, whatever.
I'll tell you, them Wake Forest coaches, if they ain't going to do nothing else, they're going to give us that dissertation, baby. Okay. They're going to give us that full dissertation. Give us the full riot act about what's going on in the program.
Notre Dame tries its best. Wake Forest tries its best, but it's not even close.
Well, the voting was not close either. This was our biggest gap of the week. Candace, how much do you think the gap was? I'm going to leave it up to you here.
82%.
95 to 5%.
Wake Forest, they're going to try. They're going to score.
For reference on how big that gap is, Florida State plays, Northern Alabama this week?
Mm-hmm.
Northern Alabama was given a better chance to beat Florida State by our viewers than Wake Forest was to beat Notre Dame.
No, that's some Miami hate right there. That's just all that is. That's Miami hate. All right, let's talk about the next matchup here. That will be at 3:30 on NBC. Another 3:30 game that'll be on ESPN. North Carolina, top 20 team, takes on Clemson in Death Valley. It's Clemson, South Carolina. For that stadium, if you don't know. Clemson's on the rise. North Carolina beat their rival, but it was an ugly, unnecessary 47. Had to let the other team get 45 on you type of win. I'm feeling good about them Tigers.
This was our closest game of the week. I agree. I also feel good about the Tigers. They have shown that Death Valley, even when they're having a quote-unquote down year, still turns out to be deathly for many ACC teams, including Notre Dame.
Now, do I want North Carolina to win? 100%.
Of course
But
you
do I
course
want to
you
win this week? I got to.
Mhm.
This is the first week I picked somebody over North Carolina in this whole game we played all season. I'm just trying to say that defense, I just have no faith. Cade Klubnik might have a Heisman level performance against this defense. But did you hear about the one with Will Shipley? I think that's the one that's most stressful.
You know, in the words of the Spinners, it takes a fool to learn that UNC football don't love nobody. The reality is, I also have Clemson winning this game because, again, Death Valley, they're getting better. Their defensive backfield is turning into a strength. When you look at this front seven in the linebacker core, you said those were the guys. Those are the guys. All of a sudden, these young boys are out here eating. And maybe that was a one-game aberration. Maybe it was just a one-time thing. That's very possible. But I think that if you're looking at a UNC team that struggles to get stops against, for all the talk that's going on with Will Shipley, Will ain't been the best back on that team. You can say what you want about Phil Maffitt. You could say he's a little hefty. You could say he don't got breakaway speed. You can say what you want about him. Call him what you want, but don't call him for fronts because he's running through defenders' faces this year. I think that Mr. Maffitt and company do what they need to do on the ground, and they take care of this game without having Cade Klubnik have to do a ton in order to win it. I've got the Tigers coming away with a win in Death Valley.
All you have to do is get off the field on third down, and that seems to be the Achilles heel for North Carolina's defense, all pun intended. And despite Will's hesitancy on returning to Clemson, I feel like they do their big one. And Barrett Carter could potentially come back, which is stressful for me because, once again,
Right, don't do that. Don't do that, Barrett. Don't do that. Go get paid. Go get paid, Barrett. Don't do that. Don't do that.
This ain't the game.
No need to do that.
Don't show up poorly against Drake May. You might have a point. I'm knocking nephew.
Barrett, I'll tell you what. If Barrett Carter has a good game, or if he finishes out this season strong, brother, stop playing around. Go make your money. You're an off-the-ball linebacker. Off-the-ball linebackers don't go that high in today's world. Like, if you're talked about in the second round, take it and run. Take it and run because you ain't going up. You can only go down from there. So
that's fair. All right, let's talk about the last 3:30 game on ACC Network. It'll be NC State and Virginia Tech. The Hokies are defending home, which they've done a great job of. They just recently showed that they can prove and win on the road. NC State going into very hostile territory, as you're familiar with. It's an afternoon game that will turn into some evening fun, now that daylight savings is here. I feel good about the Hokies.
Everybody feels good about the Hokies. They're 3-point favorites in this one. And you know what? You know what I love? NC State's last 2 games is underdogs against Clemson, against Miami. What do they go out there and do? You win both of them. And I know what you're thinking, Candace. This one's on the road. It's different. Well, I do recall them having some demons to exercise on the road in their last game. I do recall them going to a place where it's been scary hours every time NC State has gone there and walking into that trap and taking it over. Now, I know what some of you all are thinking. It's been since before I was born, since the last time they won there. Candace, you were alive, but very young. I know what some of y'all are thinking. If you got to go back before that to find the last time NC State won in Blacksburg, Candace and I's parents probably weren't thought of. It was 1951. But I'm sorry to tell y'all, Beamer ain't walking through that door. As much as I like Pride, as much as I like drones, as much as I like Tootin, they run the ball well. They're going up against one of the best run defenses in the nation. They're going up against the linebacking core that's getting better and better by the game. Mr. Jalen Scott, come on down, having a fantastic game with a pick 2 in the last one. I got NC State winning this one on the road.
I got 2 words for you, Brennan Armstrong. I got 2 words for you. A very strong, solid, great Virginia Tech defense against Brennan Armstrong, who can't read a book. So, let alone a defense. I'm going Virginia Tech. Lane Stadium is going to be rocking. Jamal Simmons, we know you listen to the show. We're very much a friend of yours. We hope that you have some great content come out of it. I go the Hokies. What do the fans say?
The fans agree with me. You're on your own again, Candace. This is going to be a big week for you. It's going to be a big week one way or the other.
Oh my God.
You either gonna gain some ground and you gonna lose some ground even more. You know
Hokey. Hi. Okay, we can do this. I feel good. I'm not even worried. All right. Let's talk about our friends at Athletic Brewing Company. It has completely changed the game for non-alcoholic beer. They make non-alcoholic beers that actually taste good. Their brews are great tasting and award-winning and beat out full-strength beers in global competitions. They brew over 50 styles of craft non-alcoholic beer, including IPAs, golden sours, and more. They're fit for all times. You don't have to get a hangover. You can find them in-store, online, and at bars around the country. They're fastest growing non-alcoholic brewery in the U.S., so get on board. What's your favorite athletic brew? Man, I'm trying to tell you, anything that makes me feel alive and thriving. I go to athleticbrewing.com, use promo code locked on to get 15% off the first online order. Near beer exclusions and conditions apply. That is Athletic Brewing Company, fit for all times. Go to get your promo code locked on at checkout for 15% off at athleticbrewing.com. We also got our friends here at Prize Picks. We all know that the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. With basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports, or at least, for example, LeBron James, Travis Kelce, all of that jazz. Want to play alongside some of your favorite players like Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in Prize Pick communities each week. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedoncollege. Use code lockedoncollege for a first deposit match of up to $100. Kenton Gibbs and I walking through week 12 previews. He said, she said, fans said. We are down to our final 2 games. Northern Alabama, Florida State don't have to stay here long. All I'm saying is they won't even allow you to bet on anything of this game because it's just going to be that bad for Northern Alabama. I just hope they give it the old college try, right? Get yourself a highlight tape. 9%. Okay.
9% voted for North Alabama. I'm not in that 9%. I ain't going with them.
Florida State haters are real.
The no's are going to roll, and that's all there is.
Well, I'm glad we can use that verb this week. You know how sensitive they can get, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's talk about Syracuse and Georgia Tech. I want to say Georgia Tech is going to roll. I want to say Georgia Tech might fly. But I know Georgia Tech, and sometimes they lose to teams like Bowling Green. But Haynes King is having a year. Syracuse defense is not. The Yellow Jackets are going to get this one at home. Come on, Atlanta. Come on, Hot Atlanta. I say Georgia Tech.
You know, the fans also agree with you. 79% are taking Georgia Tech here. I'm struggling with this one. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm struggling.
Shake now.
This Syracuse team, for all the talk that we've had about Dino's gone, it's over. They've looked terrible. They finally got they pack it in for the season. You're done. They finally got their first conference win of the season after 5 tries. After 5 tries, they get their first one.
So you're saying they're hot right now?
And here's the thing. Atlanta does not have a great home field advantage. Let's just be honest. Georgia Tech does not. You don't walk in there and get a ruckus environment. However, one of these teams has a quarterback that can feasibly throw the ball. Haynes King is the only one. Schrader is still banged up. I don't know what's going on with his arm. I saw him flipping, which Forever Orange Girl was talking about in the comments as well. You know, how his arm is too banged up from the throw, but somehow he has the ability to flip, you know, whatever. But Haynes King
it's giving vintage Schrader, right? The one where he couldn't throw. What's the saying about barn?
He couldn't hit the broad side of a barn.
Yes.
But yeah, that Haynes King, he's the guy. I think that they're going to get this game done, but I think it's going to be close. And I would not be surprised if Syracuse pulls this one out.
All right, so you're going Georgia Tech just because you're trying to win this game. But you really feel like Syracuse is going to win.
I feel like Syracuse has a better shot at this than most of us are thinking. I feel like they have a much better shot at this than most of us are really giving them credit for here.
All right, so that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. But I just want to make everything clear because my Miami one, that might do me in. But that Virginia Tech one could seal the deal. I could jump ahead.
You could jump ahead of the fans. You could.
Of the fans.
Yeah, you could. You could. If both of these shake out in your favor, it's
should I flip this? Should I flip this Louisville vote? Because I want to win.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't have faith in Miami at all. Tyler Van Dyke is your quarterback. 0 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in his last few conference games. I don't see it. I don't see the vision.
It's home. It's noon. It's traveling. Got to go.
I don't see the vision. That Louisville defense has been. I mean, they've been doing their thing. I struggle to come up with a reason to say, hey, this team is going to win because da 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 da.
I'm gonna stick beside him. I'm gonna stick beside it. I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna hold it. POP. Come on, we got it.
Absolutely.
We got it, Canes. Go Canes. I would have thrown the Ute up if I felt like it, but I'm not. So, all right, cool. That's what
again.
We got.
The defense with the least points per game allowed in this conference, going up against a quarterback that can't stop throwing other teams the ball. I think that defense is gonna be just fine.
All right, we'll see. Tyler, this is your game. Do what you got to do, big dog.
We sure.
We got to talk a little basketball tomorrow. We've been slacking on our basketball talk. Yeah. A lot of good things happening on the basketball front for the ACC. We'll get you right and ready for the weekend. A lot of good games there to pick through. So make sure you come back for that. Lock in. The votes are in. Everyone's set. Let's get ready for a Monday recap. It could be crazy. Stick by those TVs. It's going to be a good one. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs. Until next time.